Hi, I'm Michelle. I thought it'd be a really great idea this evening just to run a quick mobility based session that we want to prevent injury. Secondly, we want to get really warm for the workout so that we're mobile before because you know, a 3-minute stretch at the end of the class is really a chance for us as instructors to celebrate the workout with our members. And it's not really going to improve our flexibility. So our bodies is our tool of a trade. We need to protect them, but also, you know, the program is ever increasingly challenging in terms of multi-directional movement, our abilities to move at speed, and also really load our legs. So, you know, having good mobility and good flexibility is not only going to prevent injury during the workout or a build-up of repetition of injury, but secondly, it's going to help us move better in class when we teach. Some of the exercises that I use, which are both dynamic and static flexibility, that I try to run through before I teach body combat. And it's really crucial that you do this before body combat because it will mean that you go into class feeling mobile, ready to move really well. You know, to be a role model and get results, we want to move to the best of our ability. Okay, so it's really important if you're coming in cold to the workout that you have some dynamic routine. You know, we don't want to be stretching statically before we teach. We need dynamic exercises that are going to really target the areas where we get tight, not only probably from doing body combat, but if you teach other Les Mills classes like body pump or you're on the bike regularly, you know, we really narrow the hips, we pull the hips in, we tighten the really big working muscles of the quads. That can have impact on how our knees feel. You know, if you squat a lot or you lunge a lot, you're gonna get really tight glutes and hamstrings, and although that can give you fantastic physical results, you know, change the way your body looks, it's going to hold back your capability in body combat. So the first exercise that I normally do when I get into the gym beforehand is something that really will loosen your lower back, your thoracic spine, you know, and these areas of our body, our torso, we're going to use them so functionally every single time we twist and rotate in body combat. You know, and rotation is king because we know that it's a 55-minute core workout. So we want to rotate because it really trains our core hard, but we need to be mobile to do it. All right, so not only is it going to help your body feel better, but it's going to help you produce more power and torque through your punches. All right, so first exercise is a crucifix. So you just need to lay on your back and you want to be moving dynamically through these exercises. Arms on a T shape, you lift one leg up straight. Take the leg across the body. Yeah, and you want to ground your opposite shoulder towards the floor. You turn your head towards your shoulder because that really encourages twists into the upper neck. And we want to be mobile the whole length of the spine. You might, like me, get some cracks, and that's not a bad thing at all. For me, it feels good. So I often use my hand to anchor into the stretch because I feel that once I get warmer through my lower spine, I can encourage a little more range of movement through the joint. Okay, so normally around about 10 repetitions, starting to move slightly faster. And I'm definitely tighter on my right side than I am on my left because I'm really dominant on this side. It's my strong side, but it's also my tight side. And that's normal. You know, it's normal for you to be tighter on one side than the other. No one's a plumb line. If you're really tight in your hamstrings, you find it hard to, you know, keep your legs straight, it's okay to modify this by bending your knees and having the knees stacked across to the side. The next exercise will be from lumbar spine more into thoracic spine. I've got really tight in my rib cage. So the mid back, to loosen the mid back, will enable me to, you know, rotate a lot more as I as I throw particularly jabs and crosses, which we see, you know, a lot of in power tracks. Hands wide. So bend one knee, you're gonna lift your hip up and rotate across. So you'll often find this opposite shoulder is gonna lift off the floor. That's okay. You've got to focus just on drawing the shoulder back towards the ground. Yeah. Same on your side, bend the knee, lift the hip, rotate across. So not only is this opening, you know, encouraging rotation to the mid-back, but it's also opening through the front of the hip, quads, hip flexor, psoas. Again, 10 reps. And using your breath. So breathing in, breathing out. Yeah, breathing in and out. Spine moving into legs. Really starting to open the hips. Still working on rotation. And then step your front foot through. And you want to be able to get your knee over your ankle, and then we're going to really encourage to stay active in the back leg. So lift your thigh, squeeze your quad and your glute, and then from this position, this hand is really close to the opposite foot. And if you're tight here, you can always use a yoga block to give you more purchase and make sure you keep your spine long from the floor. All right, so then rotate towards the thigh. Open the top shoulder, think about lifting the ground away, and then from that position, draw the hips back into pyramid stretch. So now we're targeting the hamstrings. And it's really nice to then move in and out of these poses. So sink your hips down, rotate, open, push the floor away, and then breathe out, draw the hips back. And then the nose towards the knee. And then progressively, you know, you'll move the block. Encourage your hips to come more towards the floor. Keep your knee close to your shoulder. Draw the hips back. Hamstring stretch. Yeah, so you're going to make sure you do that on the other side too. So a good time now to bring rotation through the upper back and shoulders, you know. Really, when we're focusing on keeping a tight boxing guard, our hands really close to our chin, we overload, don't we? The front of the shoulders, all the really fantastic muscles around the traps, the upper back, the lats. So we get tight between our shoulder blades. So laying your back shoulder underneath you, aiming to get the back of the shoulder on the floor. Now you can either extend this arm long if it feels more comfortable, or even as a progression, push the floor away so you rotate openly through your top shoulder, yeah? Keeping the hips level, that's key. So weight is even in both knees, and then we're rotating, pushing the floor away. You're gonna feel really deep stretch across your upper back and your shoulders, across your shoulder blades. Again, you can move in and out of this stretch, moving to the back. Focus on keeping the knees level, the hips high. As soon as the hips move off center, you lose the twist into the upper back. Going back to hip stretches. So really crucial, right, to to open up through the glutes. We use these muscles so much, but we need to really stretch around the hip because that helps to loosen off the lower back. So a swan stretch or pigeon is fantastic for this. So and the back shoulder long, back leg long. Try and get your 5 toes on the floor at the back. Spiral your hip over and then lay your body down. All right, so we're pushing our hip back towards the floor. And to ground the sit bone down, square the chest up. 30 seconds, 1 minute. However long it takes for you to feel it kind of eases off. Position, push up onto hand and then step your foot outside. Drop your knee down. And this stretch is known as the best stretch in the world. You want to try and get your elbows towards the floor. Yeah, again, yoga block is good. We want to keep our spine long. So we can use our elbows onto the block in order to get the hips closer towards the ground. So it's going to really open up your hip flexor. And these are really crucial to stay mobile because it unloads the lower back, but it's really going to help your front kicks. Focus on keeping your breath slow and long. And we have to learn to not fight our bodies, so work with our bodies here. So come up. Go back to a swan stretch on the other side. So relax the foot in. Okay, so relax the heel towards the groin. You don't want too much pressure through the ankle or the knee. And check the knee stays wider so it's outside the hip line. Again, pick up your back hip and to spiral over. 5 toes flat on the floor. And if it's okay, you know, if you're tight to begin with, that you have this back leg at 90 degrees. Back to the best stretch in the world. Come down, elbows onto the block. Focus on keeping your spine long. And lots of breath, so it's not only the back leg stretching, but it's a lot through the adductors. Very, very tight on my right side, and you'll see that my upper back is slightly rounded in this position, and I really want to maintain this long spine as much as I can so far. I need to be a little bit higher for now. That's okay. Need to unload the quad, but also up into hip flexor, and then this muscle, the psoas, and it attaches underneath the lower abs and it wraps all the way around to the lower back. So we need to unload the front of the hip, because that's really going to take pressure off the lower back. Kneeling position, all right? For me, I would normally have my foot closer, my heel close towards my butt, so my foot would be on the wall. My toes would be flat to a wall, yeah? And from here, aiming to tuck your pelvis under you. So you roll the pelvis under, and that means you should really lengthen and flatten your lower back. Squeeze your glute, and then you're gonna feel a deep stretch down the hip and probably into the quad too. Okay, for more, to really unload the side body, you can lift the arm. Lots of deep breaths. If I feel like I've got just a little bit more here, I can lift this leg up. But yeah, I want to maintain this tucked under position. Squeeze my glute. It's a really deep stretch on my quad. This in conjunction with foam rolling your quads. That magic formula. You suffer from any knee pain. Lots of plyometric things that we've got going on in body combat at the moment. You know, lots of jump knees. Tuck and roll the hip under you. Squeeze the glute. It's always going to be strong to begin with. Maybe take a deep breath in through the nose, lift up. Again, you can pick up the foot, or have your foot on a wall. Roundhouse kicks, side kicks. The muscles that really, really hold you back in these are your adductors All right, so that's being able to pull the knee back in line with the hip in a roundhouse so that you can open the chamber of the kick. Not only the kicking leg, but the standing supporting leg, particularly in a roundhouse and a side kick, that has to stretch in order for you to tip your body back and kick higher. You can come into a wide leg stretch. This is important here. If your hamstrings are tight, it's going to be okay to bend your knees. Yeah, lift your pelvis, tip your pelvis forwards. You want to lengthen out your lower back, okay? So there needs to be, yeah, you don't want to be in this tucked under position, rounded, all right? So bring your legs closer if that happens for you. But in this position, lift your hips up. I'm gonna send them back. So now we've got this beautiful lumbar curvature of the lower back. So then we can come forwards from here, in this position, yeah? So there's no secret on roundhouse kicks. You know, the only way that you're going to improve your roundhouse kicks is being able to externally rotate the hip, to open the hip out to the side. I hope that this kind of starter just really, really helps. So even if you get 5 minutes, 10 minutes before class to work on your mobility, I promise you, you're going to feel better, and it's going to help you move better. All right, so enjoy. Thank you.